My husband and I have been married for 4 years. He enjoys being kicked in his boys during sex or even just throughout the day.
What what? He likes to get kicked in the nuts?
I guess that's what his boys mean.
Shut the fuck up. And welcome back to Give It To Me Straight.
I'm Alex.
And I am Jon.
And we're your fucking hosts.
We're your fucking hosts today.
Oh, man. Jon, why didn't you...
Get pumped. Get excited.
Wait.
Get pumped.
Pineapple.
I know. I said, which flavor do you want? And you go, I don't drink those. So I was like, fuck you. I'm going to get whatever I want.
I didn't like the raspberry flavor. Let me try that.
No, I don't think you should.
Well, why didn't you give me one?
Because I pointed to them in Trader Joe's. I go, which one do you want? Pick one.
But I said,
I know there's
and I said, pick whichever one you want. I don't like those.
Exactly. Pick whatever you want. I don't drink those.
I said, I don't like those.
Because God forbid, there's no LaCroix in Trader Joe's.
I chose other seltzers from Trader Joe's that I really like.
They're not seltzers, though, are they?
Yeah, they are.
You go, they're not seltzers.
That was a different one that I got.
Are you just going to constantly lie?
Those aren't lies. I got 3 different seltzers. A
Guilty.
peach, a pineapple, and then a different brand of something else. And it was not a flavored seltzer. It was something else. But I didn't know that they had pineapple of that. And I want to try that brand.
You got like lipstick and stuff. I don't want you like messing up my mouth can hole.
Jon, do you know what else I do with this mouth? Come on.
Just a little sip. Let me get one first. So aggressive.
It's okay. I definitely like the pineapple ones that I got better. Did my lip gloss get on that?
All over it.
My lip gloss be cool. My lip gloss be popping. Remember?
People are going to make fun of me for doing this, but my mom with the red lipstick her whole life.
Mine's gloss. It's just like lipstick.
I know, but it's like just like traumatic with me growing up. My mom, lipstick, red lipstick everywhere on all the cups and glasses, on my face, on her teeth. And I'm like, I can't. It was always grossed me out. Always.
Lipstick reminds me of my grandma because she always puts it on. It's like you don't have to do anything else. Just like put lipstick on and you're ready for the day. But she would always kiss every dog. And so like we would go over her house and every single dog, their snout would have red lips all over. She's like the biggest dog lover.
Or is red stick? Oh my God.
What?
Is lipstick still like a thing? Is that like...
Yeah. I think it's more like stain. I don't know. I'm a glossy gal.
But you don't normally wear that. Sometimes you wear, not all the time. But like, is that still a big thing that women do? Is like wear lipstick and gloss and stuff?
People still wear lipstick, yeah.
I know they still wear it, but is it as much as like back in the day?
I don't think like you have to exit your car without putting lipstick on.
It's more of like a naturalistic.
Did I say that correctly or did I say that backwards? Yeah, like you don't have to
step outside of your car.
Yeah.
And put lipstick on before you step outside your car.
Right. You don't have to do that.
Got it.
You don't have to do anything, but to each their own. If you're a lipstick lady, perfect. If you're not, who the fuck cares?
Just don't kiss me with lipstick on. That's all.
What are we even talking about? How was your week?
How was my week? My week was good, productive, nothing crazy. I don't know, nothing. The only thing that's like new that's going on right now is everything with the strike that's going on in LA, which is pretty wild.
It's wild, just like the timing that we're here. We're like, we want to pitch a show, writer strike.
I know.
It's okay though. Everything happens for a reason. And I mean,
we moved to LA. Monsoon.
It's for union workers to get paid more, which they deserve.
I get it.
Too many greedy mofos at the top, which I do want to say for anyone who might not understand that 95% of actors are not millionaires. Actually, probably even more than that. People who are part of the union. I think it's a misconception that everyone who's part of SAG and part of the union is just a rich celebrity in LA, but that is so far from the truth. Most people are just trying to survive, and everyone has side jobs. Like when I was an extra, I wasn't in the union, but I made $8 whole an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't really talk on it because I don't know enough about any of this. I'm just learning about it. Like I didn't know there was unions. I didn't know there was a writers union or an actors union.
You didn't know about SAG?
No.
Really?
No.
I just thought that was like common knowledge.
No, because remember, this is your
It is
dream,
my dream.
All right?
I do.
Winning an Oscar is your dream.
But thank you, Jon. Like, if it was yours, you would have known that you would have to be part of the union.
I like to fake it till I make it. I'll learn as I go,
Okay.
I'm learning about it now.
You mean I'll teach you and then you'll just...
You bullet point it for me. You cliff note it.
It's fine. I'll be happy for you. But like I said, you could feel two things at the same time. Happy for you and also fucking pissed. It's fine. I'm the villain now.
You are the villain.
I'm the villain.
Goo's going to get so mad at me. I've hit this table about 10 times. And he just told me, don't hit the mic. And I think I've hit it multiple times now.
Nice.
Yeah, you are the villain. I feel pretty good.
You.
I'm like the hero. Love Dr. John.
Windy out.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, nothing crazy. You? Anything else?
I'm trying to think. What did we do? Oh, it's just really hot. Like, I feel like we always love to talk about the weather on our podcast, but it affects our lives. And when we first moved here, it was super rainy and super cold. And now we do need some rain. It's really fucking hot.
I don't want to complain because I feel like all we do is
no
complain.
matter what, we're just going to complain. And it's always going to be about the weather.
I wish it would be a little bit less hot this weekend because my parents are coming into town.
Oh, yeah, your parents are coming.
So like we were really banking on like walking around. I never really know what to do. I'm like, how many events do we plan?
But it's dry heat. I don't know. I feel like your parents are pretty go with the flow.
Right.
Mostly.
Well, my mom likes to walk and shop and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be too hot for Kobe.
We wanted to go to the comedy show, but John said no.
I don't like if I'm...
Are you too nervous about
with
bringing
my
your
mom?
parents?
Yeah, like if I don't 100% know she's going to have a good time with something, I don't want to do it. Why risk it, you know? Or like I want to go somewhere first. I'm not going to like wing it, be like, oh, maybe my mom will like this place, even though I've never been. Like I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah, but you have been. You just don't know like the sets that the comedians are gonna do.
Right. If we go to the improv and this guy's talking about like finger banging someone and blowing bukkake loads, I'm like, I don't want to be sitting next to my mom during that.
Yeah, but
the last time I went to a comedy show with my mom, she actually got us tickets and it was to, I'm gonna butcher his name, Jon
Stamos.
Lacazamo. He's from like The Pest. He's from he played Luigi, like in the old school Mario and Luigi movie.
I have no idea.
Anyways, he was like super raunchy, and I'm just sitting there next to my mom, and my mom's the whole time like,
oh, she like didn't think it was funny though?
It was okay. You know?
I don't know. I feel like your mom, you have to give her credit. I think she would think.
I'm not knocking my mom. Either way, it's uncomfortable for me. Anything with like sexual tension in it, that's the last thing I want to see with my mom. Whether it's like a sex scene in a movie, I don't want to do that with my dad either. I feel like we've talked about it on the podcast before.
Maybe we could go to the movies.
Sure. Watch Barbie.
I loved Barbie. I'll go see Barbie again.
I know you would. I want to see Oppenheimer.
That's true. Or we could go see that.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, I guess we don't have much to update you guys on.
Yeah,
We've
it was
just been
relaxing week.
working, relaxing. That's it. Moving into questions.
Cool conclusion.
Cool. Yeah, it is cool, John. John, you pulled these. So this is for you. How do you feel about Alex talking all the time? Like, you were like, I'm going to pull this question
I
because
didn't write
I want
that
to
question.
vent. Love her to death. Just wondering what goes through your mind when you have someone so funny, kind, and talkative by your side. See, you saved it with the funny and kind. Thank you.
I mean, I didn't write it.
I'm saying to the listener,
right.
Like, thank you for saving it because I
like
my
it.
feelings were hurt.
I'm glad you talk a lot. You talk for both of us. It means I don't have to do it. Because it's exhausting trying to like have small talk or think of things to talk about. Even with this podcast, it's great. You talk. I'll chime in once in a while.
I talk all the time.
You do. You just chirp all the time. That you want to know why you pass out sitting up, or you could pass out immediately? It's because you're so tired from talking all day.
I could probably fall asleep right now.
I'm sure.
No, literally, like this.
That's why you can't watch a movie because you're not talking to someone. Dinner.
Talk to me. Like, I just want to interact.
I'm an active listener.
Not always.
You're
active listener coming from the person who needs every question repeated.
Fair enough. I do feel like maybe it's also not the best thing though, because like we've been in situations before where we went to an event and I was talking to like a brand and like I had like one sentence come out, and then after I'm like, I don't know, I have nothing. I'm blank. What else do I say?
You rely on me.
Yeah, like
don't blame me for your inability to communicate with others.
I'm literally giving you a compliment and know what you're doing. You're just throwing it back in my face.
You're blaming it on me. You're saying it's holding you back because you can't have conversations like an adult. It's not my problem.
So what do? Cool. Anyways, I was giving you like some good and bad.
Okay.
let other people talk once in a while.
I'll let you talk the rest of this time. I won't answer a single question.
Next question.
My husband and I have been married for 3 years. We currently live in the same city as both of our parents and siblings. We have recently begun to feel overwhelmed by how often our families want to spend time together, as we have a lot of other commitments. We also want to spend alone time together, of course, as well. Any tips on how to manage time and how to express this to our families without hurting their feelings?
Just move without telling them or even talking to them about it. And then once you get to your final destination, be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm not anywhere near you anymore, so I'll see you once a month.
Next question. My husband and I... Great advice, Jon. And that's what happens when Jon's the only one talking.
Right to the point.
I don't think that was good advice, though. Move? Yeah, not everyone can move or not everyone wants to move. It's about setting boundaries, Jon.
Join the military and just... get out of here. Honestly, yeah, you just need to have the conversation, but we've been there. I mean, when you're around family constantly, then you get bombarded with different events to go to, birthday parties, whatever, and it gets kind of overwhelming.
It is tough, but I think that you just have to make it clear that you love your family and you appreciate the time that you spend with them, but you have to be willing to do your own thing. Like, you have to do your own thing.
Make plans in advance already.
I know,
so that way you're like, sorry, that weekend's booked. And so are the other 15 weekends past that date.
It is tough. It's like, I remember that. But if your schedule is just filled, there's nothing that they could do about it. You know what I mean? Like, saying that you guys have date night with each other is still something that's on the schedule and still a commitment. Like, you don't owe anyone anything. Just saying no or saying that you already have plans is enough of an excuse. And if they take it personally, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem.
I think people have this like notion in their head that it's like, well, family time trumps all time.
Right.
And like, that's just not fair to be that way. Cause it's like, oh, well, we're still doing this. Like, you need to come to this. But like, that I'm not going to just fit into your like agenda, you know? Cause
me time and time with your spouse is rejuvenative. Is that a word?
Rejuvenating.
Is rejuvenating time. You know what I mean? So it's necessary to have that time away from family and friends to recharge. And again, do whatever you want. Like, your schedule is your schedule. You can't worry about hurting other people's feelings, especially when you are still putting the effort in to see them.
Agree.
Next question. My husband and I have been married for 4 years. He enjoys being kicked in his boys during sex or even just throughout the day.
What what? He likes to get kicked in the nuts?
I guess that's what his boys mean.
Shut the fuck up.
I still feel kind of, oh guys, yeah, Jon didn't pull this question. I did. I still feel kind of awkward about it, even though we've been together 7 years and married for 4. Am I wrong to feel awkward about this? I don't hate it, but it's just a tad weird to me. Alex, I was definitely looking for your input on this one. See, so
set the scene.
For me.
Billy, wait. You guys are just hanging out in the kitchen. Billy turns to you and he's like, all right, Janet. 90%.
Full throttle.
90% with this swing.
See what you got your steel-toed boots on.
If I was her, I'd be more concerned, like, are they married?
Yeah, they've been married for 4 years.
Do you want to have kids? I don't know if that actually, I mean, I feel like you could damage something down there. She's like, I don't mind it. That's
No. She's saying, I don't hate it, but she does feel awkward.
She's like, kick some of the nuts.
Jon won't even let me look at his nuts,
dude,
let alone.
Leave my nuts alone. Because I've been kicked in the nuts so many times.
Maybe
in
your
soccer?
Kicks just aren't, like maybe you don't have soccer player kicks, but maybe go to the gym, start working legs, and show him that it's not a great thing to get kicked in the nuts. I've been
training my whole life for this. That's fucking wild.
I don't know. I've never heard of that, but I'm not going to kink shame if that's something.
Well, if you want to have kids, research into is getting kicked in the nuts.
I just can't imagine that that's healthy.
Sperm count.
That can't be healthy. There's a reason why men wear cups on the field and in sports.
Oh, God.
I knew you would love this question.
I'm like, oh, God. That sounds so bad.
Maybe we should try it.
No.
Just kidding. I would never do that to your special boys.
Oh my God, that sounds so bad. Honestly, no. I'm gonna knock a kink. That's a terrible kink to have.
But he's the one who likes it. It'd be
weird. It's a terrible kink to have. I'm just gonna say that. I mean,
it'd be terrible if she was the one who was like, I want to kick you in the nuts, but he wants it. So it'd be like if I was like, John, twist my nipples so hard, but worse.
I wouldn't say no. Oh,
You're allowed to feel awkward because I don't think that is defined as normal. But like, what is
kind
normal?
of a cool party trick, though.
A cool party trick.
And he's like, all right, we've been practicing.
Okay, but if that's something that he likes to get turned on, and people find that out,
how do you even get an erection after that?
We have questions. I would say go to a doctor. Does he have feeling after that?
I don't know. She's probably kicking that testicle inside of him. He's got to be like. To like pop it back out. Okay, next question.
Next question. I quit my teaching job because it was affecting my health. I found my dream remote job and I'm feeling happier and healthier. However, now I'm struggling financially because it doesn't pay enough. I've applied to other remote jobs with no luck. I know I could get a part-time job at a school easily, but I'm fearful that my health will take a downturn balancing two jobs. Should I get a second job at a school and hope for the best, or do I continue waiting until I find another remote job?
I mean, you have to do to survive. But then again, it's like mental health, your mental health versus like financial wealth, right? You know, so.
I just want to give you credit for teaching at all. Thank you for all the work that you've done, and to all the teachers out there. You guys are saints, because I don't know that I would be able to do that job.
Coming from being a teacher's aide, I will say being a teacher is exhausting, and I'm not even a teacher, just a teacher's aide. I was like, this is horrible.
That's such like this whole question is such a testament to like teaching in general. The fact that you had to quit for your mental health and like the finance and the financial, well, I guess maybe you didn't quit because of the financial element, but like teachers need to be paid more. With that said, I do think that you could find a remote job without having to go into work. There's so much remote work out there.
IT stuff,
but
coding.
The thing is, it's like following up. Like, make sure, what do they say? Like, you have to follow up with people 9 times. So like Jon and I, when we do outreach, like if we want to like work with someone, and thankfully we have like a team that helps us do outreach, but sometimes Jon and I are like, fuck it, let's do it too. We will blast them with emails and follow up 1 bajillion times. So I just think that you have to be, what do they say?
Relentless.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Okay.
Jon doesn't like my analogies.
I like it though. Sure.
Do you?
Or just be relentless. Yeah, you know.
Well, keep it up. You got this. Something will come around. Start an OnlyFans. Next question. I don't like my girlfriend's dog. He doesn't get along with other dogs and barks at everything and everyone. We all live together, and when people visit, he is constantly barking. It's annoying to me, and I'm sure to our guest. He has a bark collar, but still barks, and overall, it's annoying. I know getting rid of him is not an option. I'm not a dog hater, even though this makes me feel like one. So what would you suggest I do so I'm more tolerant of the dog and don't let it affect my peace and my relationship with my girlfriend, as she loves this dog, even though she has also expressed that he is not a normal dog? I appreciate your honest feedback.
I feel like you're not treating like the core of the problem. Like getting the bark collar is just gonna like.
Well, it's supposed to like correct, like, you know, I guess a bark collar zaps them so that they're like, oh, this is bad behavior. Have you thought about going to a trainer?
A trainer would be the first thing to do.
But a trainer trains you. Like, a trainer does not train your dog. A trainer works with you with how for you to train your dog.
Gives you tools on how to train the dog.
So, but you have to be willing to put in the work to train your dog. Like when I went to a trainer for Kobe, it was work with me. It was my uncle, and he's a canine unit, or he's the head of the canine unit, and in North Carolina, whatever. And I was like, and I was anticipating him to just like work with Kobe one-on-one, and Kobe was going to come out a cop dog, and I was just going to have him be fabulous. And then
he looks like a killer.
And I was like, oh shit, I actually have to be the one to work with Kobe.
So you were like, I didn't want to do it. See who just left?
I taught him to sit, to paw, and to speak.
Wow.
And
to this day, those are the 3 things you can do.
But yeah, you have to be the one to work with your dog. So if you're willing to go to a trainer and invest into that, could be worth it. But some breeds are just very loud breeds of dogs. Like my sister's dog, annoying as fuck.
I hate that dog.
But it's crazy how I love dogs, but a barky, loud dog
That dog
can make
is
you
the
so
way
annoying.
it is because they did not train that dog. That dog could have been totally different.
I don't know. I
But
think
instead, they let the dog run around and do whatever the fuck it wants to do.
I think it depends. I think it does depend on. There's a lot of things: the environment, the breed. Are they being interrogated? Do they have anxiety? Like, there's a lot of things that you could look into for the dog. Like, maybe start them on CBD. I'm not a vet. Don't please talk to your vet. I have no fucking idea.
I think training needs to be first. Training needs to be first before all these other things to go before putting those into effect.
But really talk with your vet though. Like I'm sure that they would have plenty of tools for you to help implement so that you don't have to, go fucking crazy. Because it's really annoying.
I don't know why I'm thinking of when we did the Purina event and she's like, what is your dog motivated by? And I'm like, nothing. And he's like, I'm not going to say it, but TREAT.
Thankfully, he's not a barker though. Like he's so calm.
That would drive me crazy.
Yeah, like even when we walk Kobe down the street, if Kobe was a barker, it would affect
people, the dogs, everything.
But like he's so good. What an angel. But
you did good because you brought him around all animals like all the time when he was younger.
Right. Yeah. But best of luck.
Yeah.
Next question. What are your thoughts on relationships with an ex-parent? My ex-fiance's mom and I were very close. She helped me through a lot and we were always very close in times when I wasn't close with my mom. When my ex-fiance and I broke up, the family breakup was worse than the relationship ending. I have been with my new boyfriend for 4 years now, though through the past 4 years, my ex's mom and I will message here and there. Nothing personal, but checking in or comments on my photos. She recently asked to get lunch and says she misses me. When I talked to my boyfriend about it, he wasn't comfortable with the idea because his mom and I aren't close. We are just two different people. He played the I'm fine with it card initially, but after talking more, he admitted to not liking the idea. I want to respect him, but this isn't a woman I barely know. This is a woman who had a great deal to do with who I am today. It's hard and it sucks. Help.
It's a tough situation. I mean, if she was there for you in a time of need where like your parents or your mom wasn't there, like having an adult figure in your life, I mean, if she helped you with stuff, that's tough. He needs to kind of understand that. It's not like you're going there to try to like get back in with the family and get back with the ex.
This is one of those like situations where it's not as black and white as it normally would be, because without that context, I would be like, no, you shouldn't be getting lunch with your ex-fiance's mom. But with that said, like when you're dating someone, and especially when you were engaged, you are part of the family. Like it is ingrained. You're marrying into them, like you build these strong bonds and these strong relationships that it can be harder because it's almost like your relationship with the person, why it didn't work out, but like there's no bad blood between you and the family. So why would there be a reason to stop talking to them? But I think you have to communicate with your current boyfriend what an important person that she was and your intentions.
Yeah, make him understand for sure. Because I feel like I would. Would you do it? Like if you were in her situation, same scenario.
Like if you and I split up.
The same exact scenario. You're just her. And
I was dating someone else. I would probably keep a relationship with at least Jen. I could never imagine not being friends with your sister, just because like if you and I didn't work out on, it would depend on like why we broke up though too. You know what I mean? Like depending on the situation, who supports who, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there's a lot that could muddy the waters there, but I don't know. I feel like your family is my family, that it would be so sad. I don't know.
And I'd be toxic and be like, you better not be friends with her.
Yeah, and that's true too. It's like, do you still talk to your fiance? I don't know. Would you be close with my family? Chris, would you be close with Chris still?
I just don't think it's an issue. Because we're also, I don't know, I look at us like we're adults.
Right.
And I mean, I've been part of your family for over 6 years now, and it would be hard to not. And I feel like when I hear from like my parents' friends, they're still close with like their exes' families, or like even if they have a kid involved, it's hard to not.
I think though, in a situation where a kid isn't involved, it might not be the same. You know what I mean? Because there's no tie keeping you to that family or that person. But I don't know. I just think that in this type of situation, she obviously was a very important figure in your life.
I want to know what the issue is with him though. Like, is his confidence that low in himself that he feels like
It could also just be a respect thing. Cause like, let's just say flip side, I still had a relationship with my exes, like, or
Mom?
you still had a relationship with your ex's mom. Like, how would I feel about that? You know what I mean? I'd kind of be like, move on. Why are you holding on to this family? Like, I'm your new family now.
Are you coming from like a troubled family past though? Because
Right.
then I would respect that. Like if you had abusive parents or non-existent parents and you looked up to them as a role model, then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Especially if like you and your boyfriend are close. Like I have enough trust in you that if you had a relationship.
This is what I'm saying. Like, what's
Yeah.
his deal? Like, it's a little too far-fetched. Like, why are you
Petty.
Yeah, petty. Anyways, so I think you're okay.
I think though it's communicating though.
Talk to him about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
talking to your
explain.
boyfriend about like the importance of who she is and letting him feel secure in your relationship and, you know,
Right.
reassuring him that you're not there for your fiance,
Ex-fiance.
ex-fiance.
Get that right.
Next question. My husband and I have been best friends for 15 years, together for 10. We are still in our 20s and don't plan on having a kid for a few years. I low-key want to open our marriage to same-sex intimacy. I, a female, could be intimate with other females only, and he could be with other males if he wanted to be. I am bisexual, but my husband doesn't think he is. I'm not okay with opening my marriage to heterosexual relations. If my husband wants to be intimate with a woman, he has me, and vice versa. I also think it would be really hot to see my husband kiss another man. I believe this could spice up our sex life without any jealousy. I don't know if he would feel the same, and I'm too worried to hurt his feelings by telling him I feel this way. Do I bother bringing this up to him, or should I just be happy with what I already have?
I like how it seemed the only thing she cared about was what she wants. The poor guy doesn't even know if he's bisexual. You're just going to confuse the shit out of him. And he's like, well, if this is what you want, I guess I'll try it. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, I think it'd be really hot if he kissed another guy. Like, that's cool and all if that's what he wants. But like, fuck. Now you're putting him in this situation where he's like, I don't know if I want to or not. And I'm going to have to make out with this fucking dude so I could turn on my lady. And I hope she thinks it's hot because I want to continue being with her because I love her.
I just think, okay, you've been together for 15, or no, you've been together for 10. You've been friends for 15. Has this ever been brought up before? Because I feel like, and not that you can't bring these types of things up later, but it kind of would be shocking. Like if roles were reversed and you were like, hey, let's open our marriage. I'd be like, what? Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Anyways, I just think it's kind of selfish. I know you're asking us the question, but it just seems how it was written seems kind of selfish where you're just thinking about yourself.
Well, because you know that you're bi. So you know that you're going to get something out of opening your relationship. Will your husband? Probably not. Like if he hasn't said that he's bi, he probably doesn't want to kiss another man. And so for him, he's like, well, if we're opening up our relationship, like you get to be with the woman because you're bi and that to you is fulfilling a sexual need. Like, so if he wants to open it up, like I think to be fair,
if he's a straight heterosexual male,
Exactly.
It's like, I guess it would be, I would do it with a woman.
Right.
But you're like, no, I'm not okay with that.
I just think that is a little unfair to your partner when you already know that he said that he's really not open or doesn't think that he's bisexual. Like he might be interested in an open relationship or an open marriage, but then you also have to know that like that applies to him where he's allowed to, it's allowed to be with a straight woman.
Right. Because right now it's basically like him doing something for you.
Yeah.
So also put into account, like, what if he does do this for you? Not really for him, and he like, I don't know, it affects him mentally because it could, and then your relationship might take a toll. I don't know. To bring it up now.
I would also ask yourself, like, Is that what you like? Are you missing something in your relationship? And we always say this in every episode.
That's true,
it's
though.
Like,
Is something
why
missing?
are you bringing this up? That
All
like
of a
you
sudden.
feel, that you need to outsource something sexually. Like, because I think depending on your relationship, like a lot of people don't want to be monogamous, but it is a mutual decision before getting into your relationship what your standards are and what your boundaries are. So I feel like if you didn't go into your relationship with that expectation, like why are you feeling this way now? It's just like deep diving a little bit deeper, being like, what am I missing?
Dive deeper, think a little bit more about him in the situation too, before you like come to a conclusion about talking to him about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a conversation you can have and should have, but prepare for him to not be excited about it. Next question. I've been divorced for 2 years and have 2 kids with my ex-husband. I have been in a new relationship for the past year, and my boyfriend struggles with the fact that I make it a priority to work collaboratively with my ex-husband, even though he's done some messed up stuff to me. My boyfriend is also divorced and only recently started co-parenting with his ex. I'm his first real relationship after 10 years of being single. I'm struggling because in all aspects of a partner, he's amazing. Treats my kids right, puts my needs first, you name it, he does it. But he does not respect my feelings when it comes to working with my ex. I have no feelings for my ex. I left him. But I do let a lot of petty things go from him, which bothers my new boyfriend. He will get mad at me for things my ex does, even though it doesn't bother me. And when it comes to drop off / pickup, he makes me check in with him. I'm at the point where no matter how amazing he is, his issues with co-parenting are starting to outweigh the other stuff. How do I get him to move on, or can I even?
I feel like co-parenting is important because you need that relationship to stay established for your children. But like he's also co-parenting, so how does he have the right to say anything to you about you co-parenting? You know what I'm saying? And he needs to have enough trust in your relationship that, again, you've told him multiple times, like this is strictly platonic. This is for our kids. You know, you got to get over that. I could see anything, whether this was an issue or something else being an issue. If it's something that is constantly brought up, it's going to get annoying either way. So you need to nip that in the bud. I don't know. I mean, I could see it being annoying as fuck, but if he's doing everything else, I wouldn't like leave him over that. It's basically, it's just like he doesn't like that she's co-parenting with her ex when he's also co-parenting.
Right.
But he's constantly bringing it up like almost like he needs reassurance. Even though he's saying he doesn't like that she's doing it, but he's always bringing it up, which means it makes me feel like he's not confident enough in their relationship and that's why he keeps talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little hypocritical.
The fact that, right there, the fact that he's co-parenting, it's hypocritical.
When you have kids involved, I'm sorry, but your relationship not that your relationship doesn't matter, but like your kids are your priority at that point. Like when you're dating someone, you're not married. This isn't your husband now. Your kids are taking your priority. Your boyfriend can go fuck himself. Like, just get the fuck over it. This is a situation. You probably don't love it more than he does. Like, what are you going to do? Stop being a fucking baby. Like,
there's only so many times you could tell him, like, this is platonic. I am doing this for the kids. Like, do you think I want to be doing this? You know?
It's like I feel like,
stop
who
bitching.
has time for the bullshit?
I know.
Like, I'm over it. Like,
there's so many other things, once again, that should take priority.
And you're like,
this.
yeah, he treats my kids right, puts my needs first. Okay, he should. He fucking should. That's the bar is on the floor. And it's like, again, what are you supposed to like? Then don't tell him about co-parenting. Then don't talk about it. Like, is that what he wants?
A relationship is a team. Right now, he's not being a team player.
Right.
Okay.
Next question. I moved 5 hours from my hometown about a year and a half ago. This was a big step for me, moving out in my own new area, new job. It's been hard keeping relationships with my friends back home. I only come to visit maybe 2 times a year now. I've always told them my doors are open for them to come visit me. They always have my location. Over the summer, I've seen my friends go on trips and make plans with their other friends, yet kind of just abandoned me. I've learned that plans don't get made unless I initiate, so it just becomes very one-sided. I recently came home for a month and didn't reach out to them to see them. Should I feel guilty?
Do you want to answer this or?
Go ahead. Answer it.
I mean, you're just being petty, but I probably would have done the same fucking thing.
I think what you have to realize though is when you move away, it is on you to put the effort in. Like, it is, as we've always moved away, and it's very easy to see how quickly those relationships change. Just because, and I don't want to say out of sight, out of mind, but you're not going to have the same connection anymore. Or if like, I don't know, it just, you have to put in a different type of effort. Because again, it's not like you're right down the street. You have to initiate trips or whatever, mutual things, but
it might make some relationships stronger and others like fall at the waistline. Kind of like it's the opposite of the other question. They move closer to their friends,
right?
And they were like, "Oh my God, it's too much." So it's a good way to filter your friends out too.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I think that it is a change in your dynamic, a change in your friendships. The closest ones, your relationships won't change because you'll be able to pick back up where you left off. But you also can't expect people to have put in the energy to come see you all the time. Like, you're the one that left, and that's like how we feel. Like, I wouldn't expect every single family member to come across the country to see us, even when we lived down south. I'm like, well, everyone's there. Like, we're the ones who left. So I think it's just,
that's fine. Devil's advocate, it annoys the shit out of me though if when we get people give us a hard time for not visiting.
Right.
Because I'm like, that's the flip side of that. Like, if you're not giving me a hard time, I'm not going to give you a hard time. But if you start bitching at me because I moved to better myself and I need to come visit you, I'll be like, well, you can come fucking visit me.
I think the phone works both ways though. You could still maintain that relationship by calling, FaceTiming, planning trips in between you guys. But yeah, it takes a little bit more effort when you do move away, but that's how you kind of like see who your true friends are at the same time. Like, it shouldn't really, I don't know that moving has changed the dynamic between my friends. Like, everyone, even when you live in the same place, everyone's doing their own thing now anyways.
So if they're not giving you a hard time, I wouldn't really like make a big stink about it, but maybe like you might have to put a little more effort into it.
Exactly. Because also, like, if you're home, how are they even supposed to know that you're home? And then maybe when you do come home, you ask them to come visit you at your house or whatever, or wherever you're staying, I don't know. It's really... friendships, adult friendships, especially when like you grow up and you move around, can be harder to maintain, but it really also shouldn't be hard. Like, the good friendships are not hard to maintain.
I just wouldn't make this into a thing and make it more than it needs to be. I could see this spiraling out of control for no reason.
Right.
So take a step back, breathe.
Next question. I need some advice regarding my mother-in-law. I've been married for 6 years, and my mother-in-law has always been very nice and loving toward both me and my husband. However, she could be a lot to handle for a couple of reasons. One reason I'll get into is that she is a very touchy-feely person and stands way closer to me during casual conversations that I'm comfortable with. When she walks up to stand next to me and it feels too close, I take half a step back every time to try to maintain in a comfortable distance. But that doesn't seem to get the point across. When this happens too many times in a row, or when she actually touches my arm, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, where I just get so annoyed and my anxiety skyrockets. Recently, during a vacation with our new baby, I was excited to try out a new toy that I had ordered for him. And right as it was time for us to try it out, she comes up and stands shoulder to shoulder with me so that she's also right in front of him to watch and start playing with him. I seriously can't handle the discomfort of having her hovering that close to me, so I end up stepping back, and then she takes over playing with him and the new toy. I get so irritated to the point where I have to walk away so that I won't say something mean. It really bumps me out that she doesn't have the awareness to let me have my own time with him when I'm the one that did all the work to get him to playtime, feeding, change, sunscreen, etc. And then she swipes and takes over during the fun part. I'm happy to let her have her own time with him too, and I had done that many times already that trip. I know it's not malicious, it's just unawareness, but I'm not sure how to handle this going forward. Should I say something to set boundaries? I can't imagine what I could say that would make a difference without being harsh. Do I try to keep trips shorter or just tell myself to get through it and be nice? My husband has offered to say something, but that doesn't feel right. Any advice?
Maybe just have the trip shorter. I wouldn't say anything.
So
I feel it's
you're
not
just
malicious.
Annoyed at like her lack of self-awareness around personal space.
She just seems like she's a happy person, wants to be with you guys, and like I can see why you would get annoyed. I get it. But you know what? She doesn't live with you. You're doing trips once in a while. Just suck it up, because you don't want to make her feel some type of way, and then she feels like she needs to like standoffish,
right?
And like you don't want to make her feel uncomfortable either.
Yeah.
She's just trying to spend time.
And because to your point, like she's not doing anything malicious. Like she's really not doing anything other than impeding on your personal space, which for each person,
but even her
it's
seeing
different.
like, even her being like, I set up all this stuff all and she plays with the kid, be like, so fucking what?
That's grandparents.
Right.
They just like to swoop in there.
Look at it this way. Would you rather have that or a grandparent that doesn't give a fuck about you or your kid?
True. I mean,
So basically you're blessed, but you're blessed. You got somebody who loves you, loves the grandkid and wants to spend time with you. As annoying as it is, like, I wouldn't say anything.
I also don't think that you should be like toxically positive about it though either. Like if it is something that like she's overstepping in a way that, you know, is inappropriate when you've done a lot of the work, like maybe ask her to help you and assist with some things, like help clean up the toys or set some things up. Like you have to communicate what you want as well. Not everyone's a mind reader, but, and like, again, just because, you know, it's great that you have this relationship and a grandma who cares, it doesn't mean that like you're not allowed to like feel annoyed as well, you know? But I think to your point, like, have you ever known someone who's like just in your personal space though? Like it can bug you. Of
course. Like I can relate with this person, but like I'm not gonna.
You're like, Alex, you're always in my personal space.
I don't know. I think it's just so minuscule that I wouldn't say anything, especially if it's just a trip. She doesn't live with you and she just wants to spend time with you guys because I'm sure she feels like she doesn't get enough of it. So she values the time that she has with you. So just, I would take a back seat.
Agreed.
Well, you said you should say something.
No, I think that if it crosses a boundary, like if you want to communicate your needs for assistance, then you could do that. But I think to say something about her like standing too close to you and like just annoying you, I think that that's just, you're probably just overstimulated, honestly. Like
right.
You probably just need a lot of me time at this point, and having your mother-in-law around not helping or assisting is probably just getting on your last nerve.
Is she not helping?
Well, she's just saying no, she's the one who's changing her son, doing the sunscreen, and then her mother-in-law like swipes him away to play
for nothing.
Him.
It's not the mother-in-law's fucking
job
duty to do that. Like she did it. Your parents did it for you and his parents did it for him. Like as a grandparent, their time is to just enjoy their time and spend time with their kids. I don't like people saying
they could help.
They can help, but that's not their fucking job. You're the parent. Like I hate that. Like they've done their time. Don't put them to fucking work. That's on you. You're the one who had the kid.
I mean, while I agree, I'm just saying devil's advocate. She probably is just like annoyed. Like she's probably just, again,
I just don't like that people, I feel like people have kids and they're like, the grandparents will take care of them. Like,
yeah, but I mean, it's hard to do it alone. You know what I mean?
That's like
her
that's
husband,
like people saying, why don't you have a kid? Like, who's gonna take care of you when you're older? Like that shit's so annoying.
Well, if anything, your husband should be helping you with these tasks. You shouldn't be looking at your mother-in-law to be, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that like maybe if her husband is out and it's only her and her mother-in-law, I don't know what the dynamic is, but I can see a situation in which she needs assistance. She's doing all this legwork, and then the mother-in-law is like, oh, he's ready to play? I'm taking him, you know? I'm just saying devil's advocate.
Okay. All right.
But I get your point.
Right. Okay, cool.
Next question. My best friend started dating a girl who has been giving off hoe vibes right from the jump. I told him not to pursue it, but he did anyway. Fast forward 6 months later, he spends every day with her and sleeps over at her apartment all the time. He has yet to introduce her to anyone except me for a brief hi and bye. The one time we go out together, he goes to put his empty bottle away and she turns around and approaches a guy right in front of me and my girlfriend and says, I love your shirt. Can I take a picture? And then she asked him for his Instagram so she could send him the picture. I bitched her out and told her that was unacceptable and disrespectful. And then they got into a big fight and he ended up leaving her. Was I in the wrong for getting mad at her, especially because he is considering forgiving her?
No, I don't think so. I think what a good friend you are. You know, you're trying to, the fact that she just did that, like you're preventing him from starting a terrible relationship.
I think that there is probably a reason why you had like heightened senses about
it. Probably wasn't just it wasn't probably just her saying it. It was probably the interaction, her body language.
Right. It's also the fact of like, you're willing, like the fact that she's willing to exchange information with another guy in front of his friends. I mean, like, I will say she's not interested in your friend. Like, she might be having her cake and eating it too, but like, I think you did the right thing by speaking up. I don't know if you should have been the one to bitch her out. I don't know if that's necessarily the right way to go about it, but I think voicing your opinion to your friend, I mean, it's too late though. You already did bitch her out. So
Was your friend going to stop talking to you because you tried helping him? You should just keep saying like, you're welcome.
the only issue is it's like now he's considering forgiving her. I just think that there's a reason that there were red flags in the
Whatever. Well, then
beginning.
he can fucking forgive you too for trying to help him.
I also think too, like, people will eventually reveal themselves, you know? Like, if they're together long enough, like, let's say he forgives her, they stick it out, they end up dating. Like, if it's not meant to be, it won't work out. So I do think that, like, you've already given your opinion. There's only so much that you could do in that situation. Like, I think you kind of just have to let your friend navigate this road himself.
And maybe that puts her in check a little bit. I doubt it, but you can at least try to tell yourself that.
But yeah, I think that if she's already doing that this early on,
For the streets.
I mean, not that she just maybe doesn't like your friend that much. She's just like seeing what her other options are. It's not that she's for the streets. She just hasn't met the right guy yet.
She's with another guy.
Okay, but now she was seeing what her options were. She should have broken up with him, or not
This is
been
why
with
the
him.
internet doesn't like you, Alex. You're being devil's advocate. She's just being devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, it's not like they were married or like
I know, but
actually,
she was literally on a double date at a restaurant or whatever the fuck they were doing, and then she turns around and is like asking for another guy.
I'm not saying what she did was right, but I'm saying you're like, she's for the streets. Like, she just didn't like, she was obviously shouldn't have been in a committed relationship. And I don't think that well, I guess 6 months later, they spend every day together.
She literally
like,
says she has hoe energy. What does that mean? What does hoe energy mean?
she likes to garden the streets.
Okay, done.
Should we talk about our icks, John? Jump into our icks.
I have
What's your
two
ick
icks.
with me?
Well, I have 2 icks. One's kind of whatever.
What? Did you drink enough coffee today?
It's not me. You're
Or
boring.
too much? Me? You're like, ooh, I'm trying to like spice it up and be devil's advocate. And you're like, you're the villain.
No, because then you get mad later when you're like, people say mean things about me. I'm like, well, devil's advocate.
You don't play devil's advocate
I do.
anymore. You used to, and then you were the bad guy, and now you're like, I'm going to give the good advice, so you take over that.
I am John, the love doctor.
No, you're not. Villain. Alex is a villain.
All right, my ick is, I don't know if I talked about this already. Our morning routine. It's like a competition. Who's gonna wake up and then do the morning chores? Because I feel like
my
even
God.
now you wake up and you still don't do it. Putting food in Kobe's bowl, giving him his one joint treat, and then the other joint treat that goes with peanut butter. You wait for me to do that
John,
every fucking morning.
I
wake up
wait
and you're
for
sitting there
you.
reading your book. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to do it, and then I have to let him out, and then I'm like, you're
John.
sticking his paws in the flesh purse thing.
I wait until Kobe's up. If you're still sleeping,
That's such a cop
he
out.
sleeps in there with you.
All you have to do is Coco.
Because it's so loud, like dumping the food into his bowl. So I'm not going to wake you up.
Oh,
And see,
you really care
that's
about
what
me?
it is, because
Alex,
I don't
I'm
want to
up.
wake you up, but then like you want to wake me up, so you yeet his food into the bowl, so
Oh,
it's
you're
so loud, so I
grasping
get
at
up.
straws.
No, that's why.
You're grasping at straws.
Because when you're up, when we're both up at the same time, then I'll do it. But when you get up first, you do it, and when I get up first, I wait until you wake up, so then I don't wake you up by doing those. Because Kobe's still asleep too. Look at him; he's asleep right now.
I make you coffee.
I don't like to drink coffee.
Too better.
For the first
Too
90
better.
minutes.
What's your ick?
My ick? No, don't you have another one?
I'll go yours then mine again.
Well, then I have to think of another one.
Do whatever
so
you
I can
want.
have two. My ick with you is that
I'm just so amazing.
if we're going
makes you
grocery
mad.
shopping, and because like you don't let me drive, even though you're a
You're
terrible
lucky because
driver.
that was going to be mine.
What, that you're a terrible driver?
No, about grocery store.
You back up into spaces every time. Like whenever, just listen, whenever I'm like a passenger.
No, I agree. I agree. I fucking forget.
Every time.
I know.
You look back into a space and I'm like, we need to open the trunk. We need to, like, you'll back up into a wall. If we're in a parking deck, you'll back up to another car. And I'm like,
I hate
we
to
need
pull in. I like to back in.
But what? Just pull the fuck
It's
in.
better than, like-
but this time you didn't even back in. You pulled into the space and then pulled into the second space so that it was like a
That way I don't have to back out. I could just go boop right out.
But then when you're loading your groceries
What if
in,
it's an
annoying.
emergency? Instead of having to like back up, look, I just take off.
Okay, well then you just always have to load your groceries in from the side.
My ick also has to do with the grocery store today. One, my ex for both of us, we never
Make a list.
ever bring any bags.
I know.
Never. Because we cook all the time. So we're always at the grocery store. And we have to pay 5 cents per bag every time.
But I like getting them from Trader Joe's because I use them for recycling. You know?
Sometimes
like
you
I put
do.
them on the side and then I put the recycling in them, the
Just
paper
like
bags.
we never remember them ever. And then everyone looks at us like, you're polluting the earth because you didn't bring your recyclable bags or reusable
Well, we're not
bags.
using plastic bags. We're getting
At Vaughn's, we use the plastic bags.
Ralph's.
Or whatever, Ralph's. But then my ick with you at the grocery store is we're bagging. And you don't know bagging protocol
Yes,
at
I
all.
do. You put like the hardy things at the bottom and then like the loosey-goosey soft things on the top.
Dude, because what did you do?
I
You
was-
took your graham cracker cakes, you put it down, and then you're putting all these heavy glass bottles on top. Like you're gonna break the fucking what is that anyway?
cakes?
Rice cakes.
I'm a good loader. I'm a good loader.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. And who cares? Like, you don't eat those. I do. And I did not put those on the bottom. You're telling me that bothers you. Get the fuck over it.
That was my ick. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Like, subscribe, email, comment. We forgot to tell you that earlier. We want those reviews.
Read a review.
Okay. I will. I will read a review. Boop, 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 boop. Ride English. Thank you for this podcast. 5 stars. I discovered Alex and Jon on Facebook, Instagram Reels. When I saw they have a podcast, I knew I needed to start listening ASAP. I have a lot of catching up to do, but I'm already obsessed with the content this couple provides between hilarious Reels and this podcast. Thank you guys for being real forever, an A&J fan.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you want to email us, you could reach us at hello@giveittomestraightpodcast.com and you could find us at Give It To Me Straight Podcast everywhere.
All right, guys. See you later. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.